The lie. Everyone believes. Everything you've been told about manifesting is built on something never tested. There is exactly one thing that was tested, and it says the opposite is true. The more clearly you picture your goal, the less likely you are to reach it. Not a theory, not a guess. A finding, repeated across real laboratories. Psychologists tested this on real people, people who visualize success in vivid detail. Afterward, they put in less effort. Not more effort. Less. Something about imagining the reward quietly convinces your brain you already have it, so it stops pushing you toward it. Every vision board you've ever made, every future you've scripted in a journal, every night you spent picturing the win might be working directly against you. I'm not here to inspire you today. I'm here to show you a mechanism, the exact place where wanting turns into losing. And then, I'll hand you something else, something that actually works. With evidence behind it. Before we go further, one thing matters. If channels like this earn real attention, subscribe now, because this gets sharper, not softer. You don't want to miss where this goes. Let's start with the woman who found this. The mechanism. Her name is Gabriele Oettingen, a psychologist studying motivation. For decades, she ran a simple experiment, again and again. She asked people to imagine their future, a future where they'd already gotten what they wanted. Some imagined it vividly, in rich detail. Others thought about it more plainly, more neutrally. Then she measured what happened next, not what people felt, what they did. The vivid imaginers, again and again, did less, lower energy, lower effort, lower follow-through. She named the pattern positive fantasizing. And she named exactly what it costs you. Your mind struggles to tell the difference between imagining a reward and receiving one. When you picture an outcome clearly enough, part of your brain relaxes. Too early. It tastes the reward before it's earned. And once it's tasted something, it stops reaching. This isn't about being lazy or weak. This is about how reward systems work. Your brain doesn't fully separate two things, a vivid fantasy and a real memory. So it responds to both, almost the same. With satisfaction. With quietly reduced urgency. Think about the last thing you wanted badly. Did you daydream about having it often? Did the daydream feel almost as good as actually having it might have felt? That feeling was the theft, happening in real time. Not stealing your desire, stealing your drive. This is why manifestation content so often fails. Not because wanting something is wrong, it isn't, but because the specific technique, vivid visualization, works against the very outcome it promises. Picture someone rehearsing a big presentation, obsessively. Imagining the applause, the praise, the promotion, feels productive, feels like preparation. It isn't. Studies on this exact scenario show the same pattern. The vivid rehearsal of success lowers actual preparation. The brain already got its reward in advance. Now here's where this gets genuinely strange. A monk described this exact trap centuries earlier. No lab, no data, no control group, just attention and one very specific image. The moon in the water. His name was Dogen, a Zen teacher writing in medieval Japan. He wrote an essay called Genjo Koan. Inside it, one image explains almost everything. Picture the moon, reflected in still water. The whole moon, present, in one small drop. Perfect. Complete. Entirely there, in the reflection, but only while the water stays still. Now picture a hand, reaching toward the water, trying to grasp the moon, directly. The instant the hand touches the surface, the water scatters, and the reflection breaks. The moon didn't leave. Understand that clearly. The reaching is what destroyed the image. Stillness was the only reason it appeared. Disturbance was the only reason it vanished. This is the exact mechanism, from the lab, described 800 years before the lab existed. Wanting something, and vividly imagining having it, is the hand, reaching into the water. You don't get closer to the moon. You get ripples, and a broken reflection. Two completely different worlds. One culture apart. A robed monk, and a modern psychologist, agreeing. Neither one is telling you to want nothing. Neither one says desire itself is the problem. The problem is the reaching. The grasping, the early taste of a reward, not yet earned. Dogen wasn't writing self-help. Understand that too. He was describing how attention actually behaves. Grasping attention breaks the very thing it wants. Still attention lets things arrive, intact. This isn't mysticism. It's a mechanism again. Named differently, 8 centuries apart, same shape. So if grasping ruins it, what actually helps? You need something to replace the reaching with, not less desire. A different relationship to desire. The replacement. Oettingen didn't just diagnose the problem, she built something to actually solve it. It's called WOOP, and it's simple. 4 steps in a specific, deliberate order. First, the wish. Name what you want. Specific. Meaningful. Something that actually matters to you. Second, the outcome. Imagine the best result, briefly. Let yourself feel it just for a moment. This part isn't forbidden. It's just insufficient, alone. Third, the obstacle. And this is the hinge. What inside you specifically gets in the way, not outside circumstances. An internal habit or fear. Something real. Something you've seen in yourself before. Fourth, the plan. A simple if-then statement. If this obstacle shows up, then I do this. That's the entire structure. Nothing more complicated than that. The genius is in the order, not the steps. You get a small reward in step 2. Then immediately you meet real friction in step 3. The fantasy never gets to sit there, alone. It gets interrupted, on purpose, by reality. This is the opposite of a vision board. This is the opposite of scripting your future. It's not about feeling good about an outcome. It's about staying honest, about what stands in your way. Try it tonight with something you actually want. Wish. Outcome. Obstacle. Plan. In that exact order. Write it down. Don't just think it. The writing forces honesty. Thinking alone rarely does. Researchers tested WOOP against pure positive visualization directly. People using WOOP followed through significantly more often, not because they wanted the outcome less, because they stopped mistaking the fantasy for progress. This isn't inspiration. This is instruction. Use it. The return. Let's go back to the water, once more. The moon was never something to capture. It was something to reflect. Nothing more. Your goals work the exact same way. They were never something to grab and hold. They were something to move toward, honestly. Water that stays still, doesn't stop moving. It simply stops disturbing itself. That's the difference. That's what WOOP actually trains. Underneath the steps. A mind that can hold a wish without needing to touch it before it's ready. You're not being told to want less. You're not being told to dream smaller. You're being told what happens to the water the moment something worth reflecting actually arrives. So take the vision board down if you want. Or keep it. Just stop reaching through it. Wish clearly. Plan honestly. Let the water stay still. That's the entire difference between fantasy and arrival. That's it. That's the video. Do it tonight. Consider subscribing for more wisdom.